A team, a town, a state rallying around a high school football player seriously injured in an accident. Scott Breen joining us now to tell us more about this emotional story. Scott?
Right, Russ. 2 weeks ago, a truck that Powell starting quarterback Ethan Asher was driving rolled outside of his hometown down in Wyoming. He's still here in a Billings hospital fighting to live. Q2's Brandon Sullivan shows us how his family and his teammates and community are forging forward on his behalf.
KPOW Sports proudly presents Powell Panther football. Tonight's game
Powell
is
Panthers trying to regroup and rebound after the injury to their starting quarterback, Ethan Asher, who is still recovering, as the Panthers will try to play and win without their starting quarterback. A couple have stepped in, though, including Landon Langfelder.
It's been a tough week and a half, I know, for the whole team. Ethan really had an impact on everyone around him, and he was one of my best friends, and I didn't even know him for very long. He was an important part of this community, and everyone around him loved him, and I just didn't know why Ethan had to go through something like that.
It was Tuesday, August 27th, and the second day of senior year for Ethan Asher. As he made his way to school, Ethan's truck drifted just off the right shoulder. He overcorrected. His truck rolled 3 times. Ethan was not wearing his seatbelt and was ejected from the truck. Emergency responders were able to stabilize Ethan before he was life-flighted to the Billings Clinic. He had a broken clavicle, broken ribs, a tear in his aorta, head and brain trauma, and a severed spinal cord. Despite his injuries, he survived.
Ethan was a guy that was honest. He was an incredible leader, and he was someone that all the guys rallied behind. When Ethan was going somewhere, he had guys following him. And as our quarterback, he was really what you wanted because he was out to make everyone better.
As Ethan was fighting for his life, the Powell Panthers were fighting for the courage to move forward, fighting for a purpose to carry on the legacy and spirit of a fallen teammate.
People are looking around a little bit and they're wondering, what next? What do we do? But we all knew what Ethan would want us to do, and that is to keep going and keep pushing, because his life was football and he loved it. He was a great competitor, and we know that he'd want us to keep going hard for him.
4 days after the accident, doctors were able to fuse Ethan's spinal cord and realign it to near perfection, and the Ashers began seeing movement in his legs and feet. As his condition improved, the Panthers' first game in front of their home fans inched closer. Shouldering the weight of winning was heavy, and no one knew that feeling more than Ethan's parents, who had written a stirring message for the team.
Don't just play for Ethan. Play for the win. Play for the title. But most of all, play for the brothers standing next to you and for the one that cannot. Don't quit. Don't stop. Now bring it.
It said go for the win.
Let's get it up, guys.
Play for each other, play for the brotherhood. And that allowed our boys, I think, the confidence to say, yeah, it's okay to go out there and play hard and do what we love to do, and that's to play football. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense at all. But as hard as that is, it's not meant to make sense. But just to continue to trust and know that things are for a reason, and I think that that's what helps so many people drive on.
All right, hey, let's go now. Let's go, baby.
Every day you don't know what it's going to bring, but I do know that there is a plan, and his plan is good.
Touch!
Abraham out of the I formation. Langfelder turns, hands it off to Abraham. Abraham breaks the tackle, breaks another tackle, into the end zone. Touchdown, Panthers! 22-yard carry by Cade
I just think that he's always on the field with us, mentally, not physically yet, but he's definitely out there with us. And I was just so happy and just loved holding his jersey.
On this night, the Powell community raised over $30,000 for Ethan and his family. A week earlier, 160 miles south of Powell, the town of Riverton raised more than $6,000 for the Ashers. And the list goes on. Parents and players from around the state and country are offering and giving their support for someone most of them have never met. And at the heart of it is a family with incredible faith, strength, and love.
I can't imagine going through something like this, and to see how they've responded, his family, his mom and dad, is truly incredible.
We know life itself is always bigger than football or any other sport, but oftentimes when those two worlds collide, it creates moments, memories, and miracles that are never forgotten. Andy and Tiffany Asher believe this is one of those moments, and Ethan is one of those miracles. Brandon Sullivan, MTN News.
Yeah, now, Russ, doctors say that he fractured his T9, T10 vertebrae, all right? So that brings to mind a story that we did earlier this summer with J.R. Vizane, the Melstone Cowboy, right? Fractured right about that same area. J.R. says right behind his belly button. He lives in Melstone now, but he's from Cali, right next door to Powell down there. The Vizanes have already reached out to Ethan and his family, wishing him support and offering to do whatever they can to help. So if you think about that Wyoming connection there, town's just separated by a handful of miles, you know, and two injuries that are nearly identical there. So we certainly wish him the best.
Yeah, we certainly do. Our thoughts are with him. Thank you, Scott.